What is up, guys? It is John, and I'm back with another director's cut. Now, it's been a couple weeks since I've recorded one of these, but I'm excited about this one because this is an oldie. This is way back early on. A lot of funny moments that wasn't shared on video here. A good time had by a lot of us. First of all, I'll say if you haven't seen this original video, I will link it down below. I suggest you go watch it. This was back in 2017, and I had just met James and Tim. James had come up and he was staying with Tim for about a month, and this was like the second time we got together. That intro was one of the most awkward things I've ever done. I watched it back a little bit with the audio, and I was just like, holy cow, that was so awkward. But it's my first time like really collaborating with multiple people. The funny thing is, we walked, about 2.5 miles to get to this spot. So James's bright idea was, let's act like this is just a secret place in the woods and blah blah blah. And I'm like, James, everybody knows this spot. But I went on with it. Wanted to make the video more exciting. I caught some hate over it, but it was fine. Like, I'm not too concerned about it. I really don't know why the video's all black right now. Oh, there we go. Now we can see. But the whole walk, James whined and complained and whined and complained about the walk. And he was just like the kid in the back seat. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And Tim just forever would be like, yeah, it's just right up here around this bend. Just around the bend. Probably 20 times. Until James finally lost his shit and was like, dude, it's not just around the bend. We're never going to get there. James had a little bit of a meltdown walking to this place. I thought it was fun. We had a lot of fun though. Regardless. We were hearing coyotes and stuff right here. Just going nuts. Because if you've ever been to Cades Cove, it's an 11-mile drive loop. And it basically, you're in a huge valley the whole time. There's this massive valley where a lot of people used to live. And when the national parks came in, they ran everybody out, but they preserved some of the homes. Some of the cabins and stuff still there in their original condition. They've just been maintained over the years. It's really cool to see. It's really cool to be a part of, to check out. If you're ever in the Smoky Mountains, I highly recommend do the drive. Don't walk it at night like we did. I'd say take the drive during the day. But James really wanted to do this church, and it's 2.5, maybe close to 3 miles one way. So it was a heck of a walk, but I enjoyed it. It's not real up and down hill. It's pretty flat. You got a few little dips and climbs, but overall it's an easy walk, and it's pretty cool. But anyways, we finally get to it, as you'll see here shortly. And James wanted to go into the woods and pretend we walked out from the woods and found this in the woods. Even though he didn't think about when we leave, we took off running down the asphalt road that was right beside it. But a lot of scary stuff did happen. That part is for real. Things were getting thrown and loud noises, and we're hearing voices and stuff. And it's pretty crazy. But overall, a neat experience. We had a lot of fun. My channel was real new at the time. This was a first for me, getting out, exploring with other people a lot. I had done a couple videos with some other people, but not a whole lot, Tim and James was the first ones I really connected with and filmed a lot with. But I don't know why we're looking at a drainage hole here. Tim likes drainage ditches. Not as much as Ray, but he likes them quite a bit. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then, hearing the coyotes scream was kind of unnerving. And you can't really see what's around you, but everything there sees you because we're walking around with these big lights and just walking right down the road. I think this was the same night that a bunch of people rode by on bicycles. There's some people doing a midnight bicycle ride around Cades Cove, which I think will be a lot of fun. And I don't know if that's somebody's walk path or if that's a bear path, but we walked it. We decided to, this would be a good part because we knew we were getting close to enter in the woods and walk to the church, which had a huge cemetery. I mean, you'll see here in a minute. This is a long video, guys. It's like 26 minutes and 11 seconds is what it is. What is that laying on the ground? Somebody take a poop? And that's their wipe? I think that is. I don't think I noticed it. Maybe I did. I can't remember. I hadn't rewatched this part. Oh, yeah, I did. And I showed it. Wow, that's so disgusting. Can't believe I showed that. But anyways, I can't remember what I were doing here. This is why it's good to watch the original and then come back. Me talking a little bit of music. Of course, we're actually walking through the woods here, and it's kind of scary. Tim's lights died on his batteries died in his light. But we're running out of the woods for some reason. Something spooked us. I think James thought he saw a bear or something. But anywho, we continue on. At this point, James has had it with the walking. He's over it. He's done. I'm hoping to see a bear myself, if I'm being honest, because I wanted something exciting to be on. I didn't know if this church was going to pan out and be worth the walk or not. But when you're having fun with friends, like, the rest doesn't matter as much because you're having a good time. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways from doing this and hanging out with friends is you get to, go on a great adventure, but you get to do it with people that matter. And I think that's huge, and that's a lot of fun. I haven't gotten to film with these guys in a long time, so hopefully, maybe in the future, they'll want to get back together, get the old band back together, so to say. We'll see. But I'm excited for what's to come. Things that in the future, I've got a lot of really awesome plans. Still working on some crypto stuff. The cryptid stuff, the biggest thing about it is it's not like doing a ghost hunt. I can't just show up to a location and make a quick video. It takes time, weeks, sometimes months to investigate cryptids. So I've got numerous projects in the works, but it's like I got to get a pipeline going so that I can actually produce regular content on those matters. It's a lot more involved, because you're actually hunting, for a living thing. You can't just pull out tools and equipment to see if you can, communicate. You have to find it. So it's tough. And I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do that. And I've been doing some hunting and been doing some filming. I got some stuff coming up though. It's going to be great. It's going to be really cool. So stay tuned. I'll be heading to Point Pleasant soon to do that. That'll be a weekend. But I think this is when we enter the woods and we finally come out where the church is. Yeah. Can't remember what I'm discussing there, but I know this was in October, but I'm sweating a little bit. We have mild winter, so it could have been fairly warm. I mean, for Tim to be wearing a t-shirt, it had to be pretty darn warm. Tim freezes easily. So, but yeah, here we are in the middle of the woods. This is a long video, guys. I don't know. I'm losing things to say here. I'm running out of things to talk about. No, I don't know why I showed that tree up close, but I'm sure there's a good reason. So anyways, oh, there's the church. Yeah, this is where we find the church. We could have just walked on the road, but we decided to find it through the woods, which was cool. I mean, it was a cool way to come up on it, you know. There's a cool way to discover it, which, you know, we didn't discover it, but it's a cool spot though. I mean, it's definitely creepy. And back then, I didn't really have a lot of paranormal tools or anything. I was just kind of getting into it, so it was just us and a camera is all we did. And fortunately, we had some experiences because we went to some very haunted locations, and it paid off. You know, we didn't have to have all the technical tools and stuff, but you know, I have a lot of stuff now. I still need some more things, but that costs a lot of money. It's just the God's honest truth. It's so expensive to do. But someday, eventually, we'll get there. We'll get there. And the engagement gets better and the revenue increases, then we'll add more to it. I can't believe they leave these unlocked all night. That blew my mind. Like, but you're allowed to enter the park at any time. You're allowed to visit at any point in day and night. So, like, you know, I understand it. I'm surprised, you know, I'm glad people don't abuse this, because if people were to come here and vandalize, it would just ruin it for everybody. They'd just wind up locking up all the buildings and you won't be able to go inside any of them, you know. Right now, it's really neat that we get to enjoy these, like go inside, sit down in the seats, imagine what it was like back in those days. The way people are in America, I hate to say this, but it's the truth. People will ruin it for everybody else. People, you know, it's a matter of time before somebody comes in and spray paints some stupid tag on the wall, you know, and, you know, come to my Instagram channel, you know, those I just never want to ever visit or promote. Like, I always usually cut out if there's an Instagram tag on the wall somewhere, we'll cut it out, because, you know, if you're disrespectful enough to spray paint your Instagram tag just because the place is abandoned, then, you know, I hope you fail miserably at your online presence, because it's not right. And this is where a loud bang just come from nowhere. It sounded like something hit the outside of the building. So at first I'm like, is there a bear out here or what? Oh. I don't know what happened. Okay, guys, so. Okay, we're still recording. Cool. My computer screen just went completely black and said no signal. I don't know what happened there, but it appears that we're still recording. So there's a weird moment, I'm sure. I'm like, oh. But anyways, this is where we hear the loud bang, the loud noise. That's not the only time something weird happens. I mean, it's very active here. I like to actually go back. I want to do it in the winter time more so than the summer, because there's so much more wildlife out in the summer, and it's a little more dangerous. Go when it's real cold. Most animals are bedded down somewhere warm, so bears will have a den somewhere. There's not as many of those out running around. So, and snakes. Snakes is my biggest concern, as you'll see in a future video. We're standing all around this big snake and never noticed it. Tim stepped on a copperhead before. I mean, you know, it's dangerous. So you gotta be careful. You just got to be careful. Camera getting real blurry there. I was outside just trying to see what would have made that noise, you know? What could have hit the side of the building. Now, no, there wasn't any people there. I mean, maybe a park ranger could have been there messing with us. But I guess the thing that protects places like Cades Cove is you can't drive up to these places at night. And my theory is hooligans, although they will go through a lot to get to something, they will climb through windows or whatever, but they will not walk long distances to destroy something. They don't do that. You know, they're lazy in that respect. You know, they won't walk 2 or 3 miles to spray paint something. That's too much work. You know, they don't care to crawl through a scuttle hole or whatever, climb a fence. But they do not want to, like, hike to anything. So things that's far off in the woods and the mountains tend to stay protected a little bit better. Because, you know, hooligans tend to be lazy. And yes, that's a stereotype. And I stand by it. So, there you go. But anyways, we're checking out the cemetery. Typical cemetery that you'll find in the Smokies. I mean, there's some old graves here. Not as old as like colonial places or. Excuse me, guys. I had to yawn. Apparently, I'm sleepy. But like in Europe and stuff, you find much older cemeteries. But here, you know, 1800s. You know, people, early 1900s is typical, up till the 30s, you know. There are some people that are still, I don't know how many, but there's people who still could be buried in these areas because they're descendants and they still have plots that are being honored to be buried with their families. So, like, they still could be someone buried in some of these. As far as I know, you know, unless it's been changed. But yeah. So yeah, 1917 was that one. So I mean, you know, most of these in this cemetery is from the early 1900s, late 1800s. So there you go. We're hearing stuff in the woods. There's a lot of wildlife. You'll hear stuff all the time there. But yeah, we're taking a walk around to see what else we can see and find. Yeah, this would be a cool place to revisit. I'd like to go back one day and maybe have a bicycle and just ride up to this church. Do the whole loop maybe and whatnot. It'd be a good exercise and pretty good content. Do it when it's real cold, so there'll be less animals out. I guess those are fence post tops lighting up. It looks like animal eyes glowing everywhere. So, but yeah. We still got about 7-8 minutes left here. See what happens. It's real peaceful there, though. You hear all the animals and the coyotes going nuts and everything. It's kind of cool. It's really cool to hear. And it's not very likely that animals will bother you out here. I mean, they see the lights, they hear us, they try to stay away for the most part. I can't think of any animals that would purposely attack anybody. I mean, bears will defend themselves. Bears will stay away from you unless you provoke them or corner them. You know, people try to get photographs so they get too close, and the bear will feel threatened, and that's when you get in trouble. That's when you can get bit, mauled, whatever, by a bear. And you can't outrun a bear, you can't outswim or outclimb a bear. So, you know, try not to piss them off, because you're in a lose-lose situation. And you better have some good answers if you wind up killing a bear, if you do have a gun and defend yourself. I'm trying to figure out if this video is frozen or if I'm just setting the camera still. I think the video's frozen on a frame. At least it is on my editing software. And apparently I set the camera down to do this. I stopped recording for a moment just to make sure. But yeah, we're good. It changes scenes here soon. I think if I remember correctly, I set the tripod up and just let it roll in the cemetery, see if it's any shadows or anything. Yeah, so here we are, chit-chatting about something. But yeah, it was a fun night. It was interesting way to do videos at the time. You know, I was learning, I was figuring things out. I'm still learning and figuring things out. So I miss doing just, exploring haunted places and seeing what happens. That was always fun. But people love the equipment and stuff, so I use it a lot, especially the Echo Box. Oh, yeah, this is something crashed up against the building again. So we take off, and I guess this last few minutes is just us kind of walking out. Oh yeah, we saw some deer on the way out. I remember. That was really cool. I forgot about the deer. We just saw eyes at first. We didn't know if it was coyotes or what. Yeah, I'm backing up because you can't see it in my camera. But, we just see these eyes, several eyes glowing at us, and come find out they were deer. But still, it was really neat. Deer will whoop your hind end too. Don't underestimate deer. They'll beat the heck out of you if you make them mad. I think one more dangerous animal's out there is a moose. I can't tell, it's too bright in here if I can see them or not. It's hard to tell. I didn't even have a big flashlight on me or anything. So it's I can't even see them on my computer here. I know they take off at some point. Yeah, my light just wasn't bright enough to reach out that far. Oh, there you go. You can see their eyes now. It was just a couple deer. But anyways, it's cool. It's cool to see. And yeah, guys, we're nearing the end. I appreciate y'all watching. I hope you like these director's cuts. This was a long one, and honestly, it's harder with these long ones. I'm thinking about maybe editing them down and condensing them, because it's these long drawn out videos. It's really hard to sit here and just talk about it for 30 minutes. 30 minutes is hard to do a director's cut. I can't talk Tim or anybody else into coming and recording these with me, so it's pretty hard. But I'll do my best. You guys seem to really enjoy them, and as long as I'm getting positive feedback, I'll keep doing them and keep producing them for you guys. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. I really do. I look forward to doing these on and on. I've got a whole list here of ones I'm doing, and it's exciting because I love doing this content. I love talking about these old times and these fun times. You can see all the eyes glowing from the deer. That was a lot of fun. Oh, is this where the bicycles drove by? Yeah. I didn't think about it, but with my light, I blinded them. Yeah, it's like it's a bunch of bicyclists riding by. One of them yelled at me because I blinded them. It was pretty funny. Just 3 goobers standing in the middle of the Cove with cameras. And people had to be like, what in the world's wrong with these guys? What in the world is wrong with these dudes? A little bit of everything, guys. But there's the gate. We made it back out. It was a long walk. It was fun. Good exercise. I know I was hungry afterwards. We went and eat somewhere. I can't remember where. But yeah, guys. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate y'all. And I'll see you next week on the next Director's Cut. Got some more great videos coming out. Got a fun video tomorrow and some more spooky videos released this week. Y'all have a wonderful day.